disturbing. Ugh. Ugh, the sounds. Ugh, this is... Of course I'm uncircumcised. What the fuck? Call that a butt? Well, let's hop right into it then. Ooh! Ow! That's not how that's supposed to work. This is an unwashed penis. This is disgusting. What the hell am I supposed to do? Jesus Christ! Is this a game or life? Shit. Oh God. This must be fictional. This is real. God damn. Oh, okay. Now it's getting real weird.
John woke to the shrill cry of his alarm clock and lay there, rigid, his usual morning condition. But there was another reason John couldn't get out of bed. It was the weight. A weight that had nothing to do with his muscles or fat or sweaty blankets. John was weighed down by a piece of paper. The invitation to his high school reunion. From across the years, the words he'd heard in the schoolyard were still clear. You're a loser. No one will ever love you.
It's getting way too personal. I only want to make it through this game. Can't. Come on. Well, that's how you do it right there.
John needed to shower and wash off the sweaty stink of desperate sadness.
Oh my God. I must get therapy after this. Oh my God.
They say cleanliness is next to godliness, but at that moment, cleanliness was next to his prostate.
Oh, there we go. How do I get the soap out my ass? Hold up. Give me a second. Get it. Get out of my ass. There we go. There we go. This is a thing. Am I doing it right? Oh! Okay, this is getting disturbing. Oh my. That should not be clean. Oh! Yeah, great. Don't need to see that. Oh, look at that. Nice.
John had 3 months until the reunion to turn his life around. First, he needed to clean up.
I'm starting to really relate to this little guy. Whoops. Get that shit out there. There we go. Is this clean? Ah! It's stuck.
The only reason he'd ordered so much takeout was because Delilah, the delivery peen, made John feel butterflies in his testicles.
This is getting a little disturbing. Clean dishes. Oh, that's how you you die.
John's head was on fire. He seemed surprised. He shouldn't have been.
Whoa! How did you clean the dishes? Are they clean? Oh, let's try this again. Oh, there we go. Are they clean? Are they clean? Oh, okay. I got it. I got it. Nope. Nope. Use the balls. Balls. I'll take it. I'll take it.
John suddenly realized the time. Distracted by his new drive to improve his life, he had become late. He needed to hurry, or he'd miss the bus to work.
I don't have time for that.
John called it his study, but it was basically for games and porn. Mostly porn.
Okay.
John had left his apartment late,
Hello.
but if he caught the express bus, he might make it to work on time. John didn't really like his job, but it had two qualities in its favor. One, he could pay his rent, and two, Barbara. Currently John's top candidate for his reunion date.
Out of my way, ladies. Or men. I can't tell anymore.
John noticed a moderately attractive peen waiting at the stop.
No, it's because it's uncircumcised. Hello.
He tried to start a conversation and did not get the reaction he'd hoped for. It was probably because he was a minimum wage peen. She could probably sense it.
Whoops. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Let's slurp me right in there.
The office hummed with cold fluorescent lighting. The air was cold and stale, lifeless. How long had John worked here?
I wonder what they make
Long
here.
enough to deserve better.
Hello. Ew, I shouldn't be here. Excuse me. It's really hard to control.
John was late, but he felt daring. He could sneak into the office through the archives,
Hey.
or he could stroll through the front entrance with enough confidence to bluff his boss.
Whoa!
John decided to creep in through the archives.
You call that creeping? Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Through. Uh-oh.
Despite the obvious flaws, John thought it was a good plan and not a recipe for humiliation.
That's a dead peen. Gotta knock it down. Come on. Use your uncircumcision. Okay, gotta really put my balls into it. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's somewhere. Getting. Okay. Just a second. What? Let's try this again. Oh, wiggle it. Come on. Okay. What? What? Yeah, alright, I'm just gonna go the heck this way. Excuse me. me. Definitely getting fired. Excuse me. Oh. Oh. That's... This is a disturbing sound right here. Ugh. I don't know where to go. I wasn't paying attention. What'd she say?
There was Carl, napping at work.
Oh, he's
just
alive?
like every day for the past month.
Is
John
he sucking air
envied
through
him.
his ass? Out of the way. What? What'd I just eat? Alright. Okay. Oh. I'm a genius. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm gonna have one test. Hey guys.
Everyone else was
Look at
hard
this
at work,
wrinkly-ass
grinding
balls.
away. John might actually get away with this.
Oh shit.
The boss. He homed in on John, deluging him with spit and buzzwords. The boss ran out of synonyms for John's failings and gave him an ultimatum. Barbara would definitely not be interested in dating John if he was unemployed. He had to get to the quality assurance department.
This is harder to control.
There might be a faulty dildo just waiting to cost the company millions in lawsuits. John would have to test them all. Every atom of John's rectum began to vibrate with the frequencies of pure pleasure. His orifice was a paradise. This vibrator would end all wars.
One.
It was good. That one was good too.
I'm actually getting raw watching this. Oh. Hold on.
The Prostate Pounder X900 series,
Oh!
the most advanced vibrator on the market.
Oh! I don't have
Sweet
insurance.
mother of no, John, that's too much pleasure for one anus to handle.
I'm back, bitches. I have no control either. Hello. That ain't pain, it's pleasure. Oh, now it's pain. Never mind. Ooh, that ain't getting
John's
good.
butt hurt, but his heart was proud. If that vibe had gotten out into the world, it could have injured a customer as badly as it had ravaged his anus.
I will soothe my...
The boss arrived and congratulated John on taking one for the team and jumping on the hand grenade, or in this case, putting it up his butt. John was having trouble following the conversation because he was quite high on suppository painkillers. And then the boss said it. Promotion. Finally, the company was recognizing John's hard work and ignoring his minor faults like lack of talent, constant lateness, and flatulence.
Okay, you could stop this.
John's new office smelt like polished wood and success. John's success. Sam dropped by. He'd heard John had been hurt.
That's like super uncircumcised.
John said he was fine. He wasn't a softie to complain about a mildly ruptured rectum. Besides, he had a promotion to celebrate. John had met Sam in college during a sports ball game. He'd given him some stiff competition.
Oh, yeah. Suck
Not
it.
stiff enough. They'd started at Flesh Corp product
Michael?
testing together. Nothing builds a
Oh!
friendship like a long day of dildo mounting.
Okay. Oh!
Yes, John had known Sam for a while. But John couldn't hang out with Sam. He had a reunion to prepare for. He was going out with Barbara tonight. He just had to ask her. Everyone was quiet, listening to the presentation. A good moment for John to ask Barbara out.
Which one's Barbara?
That's not Barbara, John.
It's the...
Nope. Warmer.
The one in the tie. Oh, it's a dress. How are you supposed to tell male and female
Barbara
apart?
agreed. Well, she nodded. Sort of. Things were really going
Really getting at it
John's
now.
way.
Right in front of the boss.
John tried to act
Oh!
as suave as possible and listen to Barbara talk business. He didn't want to
Ow,
blow his
my nut.
chances at long-term love and short-term sex.
Short-term sex.
Barbara began to talk about monthly feedback figures, and John started to zone out, imagining him and Barbara at the reunion, a power couple. She
Sound like
would
a
make
business
his
leader.
classmates sick
My nut!
with envy,
There we go.
if he could get her to tone down the boring chatter. John's balls were gripped by certainty. Barbara was the perfect date for the reunion. John thought he would impress Barbara by going behind the bar and showing the bartender a thing or two. Despite Barbara's protests that it was unnecessary, John knew that a true gentleman should follow her home. He was excited.
Whether she wants it or not.
There was still 3 months until
Is
the
this what you call a
reunion,
walk?
and he'd already landed
Slithering.
his perfect date. All he had to do was seal the deal. Barbara thanked John for the evening and politely did not invite him inside for coffee or sex, even though John had dropped some pretty obvious hints he'd be into both, or just the sex. The door slammed on John's hopes. He didn't understand. He'd
What the
laughed
fuck
at
is
all
this?
Barbara's pie chart jokes. He'd listened to her boring
Get smashed
stories.
tonight.
The blank
Yes!
eyes of the lawn flamingos were witnesses to John's shame.
Oops. Oh, bitch. Is that a... Where do I live?
John began the lonely walk home,
here?
thoughts tumbling like shoes in a dryer. He had done everything wrong. Barbara had led him on just to humiliate him.
That bitch.
John felt empty. How could he get love? He felt like he was missing something, some key to attracting sex. But John was shooting blanks. What did Peens want?
I have no idea. I don't swing that way. I hope.
Then it hit John out of nowhere. Stuff. He had the success. He just needed to show it off. But where was John going to get all the stuff he wanted? John needed a sign.
Well. That looks painful as fuck.
A new day, a new John. He waited outside his local buttload store for it to open, eager to spend his promotion bonus on stuff. The best way to impress women.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Before the hobos come. Grab the money. Grab the money.
There's nothing like a rectum full of money to make a peen feel like a man.
Either open. Whee. Okay. Hold up. Okay. Hold up. Okay. Let's go balls first. Son of a bitch!
Suddenly it occurred to John that he was going to make a lot of choices. And every one of those choices would tell the world who he was. Did he want cheese or
Okay, that
sausage?
toothpick is still in there.
Delicious. also delicious.
Oh!
How could John decide?
No idea. Oh, there's a toothpick.
What would a date think when they sat in John's home? Comfort or style?
This one.
John
Whoa!
went with comfort. Plus, it matched the couch he already had.
What?
John
Only been
weighed
to my house
up
once.
all the differences, but this was a tough choice.
This one, sir. Ah!
John chose the extremely, obviously bad TV.
Gotta go.
John realized that it was only
For
2
once.
months and 29 days until the reunion.
There's a timetable.
Time flies. Cactus or
Oh, I don't want
rose?
that. Get that.
Was John a
freaking
rugged
shit out
hero
of my house.
or a romantic poet? If John grew his own flowers, then he'd save on romantic gestures in the long run.
Oh, a little early. I'll check out. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
There was nothing John
Holy
could take
shit.
with him to the grave.
Oh, I'm back. Give me this. Just give it to me.
Except his coffin. John liked to get his pizza delivered. That way he could see
Nope.
Delilah, the delivery
Wait, what?
team.
Wait.
She always made him smile.
Whoa! You lying
Delilah
sex.
thought
Oh, I
pineapple
misread
on
it.
pizza
I
was
misread it.
gross.
I misread it.
This
Give me
way
this
she would never know John's shameful tastes. What bedding would Delilah prefer? John couldn't help wondering. Pizza sheets would show her that John could also deliver in bed. Devoid
Oh my God,
of
how
any
much money do
sense
I
of
have?
style, buying new clothes would be John's toughest challenge. John felt sharp and also like a phony. A nice fit, but could John pull off the colour? John might want to take the hem up a bit. It was a bit breezy, maybe for summer. The silky fabric made John
Nope.
feel like a celebrity.
Hold on. This was... Ooh.
Very spunk rock.
I'll take it.
John decided to go with the outfit. Music, the food of love. Should John go retro sophisticated or just retro?
Okay. These are these
John's
cassettes?
personal nostalgia was more important than sound quality. Every can was made of metal, pulled from the bones of the earth, wrestled to the surface and smelted in roaring furnaces, all so John could buy peas preserved in salty water and stick them up his butt.
Well, I guess I'll go with blue then. Take my pennies. What?
John's new purchases were on the way to his apartment. All he
Yeah,
had to do was invite a date over.
That's it.
One look at
That's
all
all.
his stuff, and they'd be overwhelmed with sexual desire. John felt proud, and also hungry. It gave him an idea. He should invite Delilah over for dinner.
Fuck is Delilah?
John was excited. Delilah was on her way. He just needed to set the mood to romance.
Oh god. Nope. Okay. Turn around. Turn around. Fuck. Turn your head. Thanks for the help there. Okay. Candles.
Classy.
Whoa! Suck it up. Oh, wait, I still got one more. This is gonna burn my tushy. Oh, yeah.
John hoped she didn't have allergies. That must be Delilah at the door. The door opened and there was Delilah. John gulped down his nerves and invited her in. John could tell that Delilah was impressed by his stuff. It was time to crank up the mood to seduction.
Oh, one. Excuse me. Whoops.
John wanted to offer Delilah wine, but he'd already popped his cork.
Didn't see that.
Delilah started looking as nervous as John felt.
Is
He
that a
assumed
pizza
it was
shirt?
because she was shy too. They really were compatible. Of course, at the reunion, he couldn't mention Delilah was a delivery peen. That would be embarrassing. Delilah suddenly headed for the door. And just like that, John was alone again. Delilah hadn't even looked at his stuff.
Shit!
Not even the pizza bedspread.
I haven't even looked at it.
The rejection burned. John felt insignificant. He had everything he wanted. The job, the money, the stuff. So much stuff. He wanted to destroy all of it. Shove it into the abyss. His stuff didn't matter. He was a shaft in the machine. A lonely piston pumping away like all the others in his rigid place. Nothing special about him. Fuck off, inanimate objects. Why should Delilah or Barbara or any other peen be interested in dating him? He was just like everyone else and they could tell.
Full street.
John wanted to be special, but he had to face the numb truth. He wasn't. And all the money and stuff he'd ever accumulate wouldn't change that. He thought it would make him unique, but it just made him more like everyone else. He should leave it all. Get out of this little town and go on an adventure. Die, couch. See the world. He was a boring corporate drone, but he didn't have to be. He could be a traveller, exploring jungles and climbing mountains. He could visit the wonders of the world and get his picture taken. Like Peony Island, the unspoiled paradise he'd seen on TV. That was it. John had to travel. Bags packed, John was ready to put 5,000 miles between him and his problems.
Why am I
He was
paying?
leaving it all behind.
Get your head. I guess I'm going too.
John was so close. He could almost smell the freedom of the skies. Security sent John back through the detector. John had forgotten he had his nail clippers with him. He'd have to buy another pair soon, or he'd look ridiculous.
Okay. Is that dynamite? Excuse me. Oh! I can't.
When the acceleration of takeoff had slackened, John felt a sweet
I can
relief.
smell this.
He had
here.
left his worries on the
Oh.
runway. He was up in the
That's
clouds,
an STD.
on his way to adventure.
What the fuck?
John's adventure had begun at last. And clearly it was a small world after all, and also a flat one. That was going to piss off the globeheads.
Am I not experiencing the... Oh! Okay, then. How do I have any money left? Oh! Who's looking at this stuff? Get out of me. Get out of me. This is, You're lucky. You're lucky. Well, oh! out of me. Lean on in. One second. Yeah. Think about the money now.
John was having fun, but something
fun?
told him he needed to go home. Probably his empty bank account.
Yes. Oh, yeah. This thing is
John
huge.
was on his way back home. He was out of money, but money can't buy love. What it can buy are the experiences that had made John a more interesting and developed person, with 100 Buckstagram photos to prove it. Finally, everything was going smoothly. John felt good to be back on the familiar ground of home, but he would feel better to be on the familiar mattress of home.
This one. Is this one?
That's not John's bag.
Well, how the hell am I supposed
Not that one either.
to... You? Is this... Let's go. I still don't understand how this counting thing works on here. Out of the way. Out of the way. Get your
Despite
nuts out
John's
of my
swell of
face.
fresh optimism, traveling was exhausting, and he just really wanted to get home and get some sleep.
Whee! Definitely didn't bring my bag with me. Oops. I can't. I gotta redo this again. Halfway point. I think it's this one. I guess I'll follow the love trail. I love how I got shriveled up nuts to represent a young peen. Oh god, here we go again. Oh god. Oh no!
Another nightmare.
My bed!
John's stress
What?
about
I just
getting a
got
date
that.
for the reunion was making him think of her. Harmony. He hadn't seen her in years. Would she be at the reunion? John shook off the thought. He
Can't-
wasn't a child.
can't
He was a
move.
fully grown penis. John, why is the bathroom barricaded?
That's a good question.
Foreskin's sake! Is that a swan? John had no
Is that
idea
a-
how it had gotten into his
Where'd
home
my
or
toilet
why
go?
it hated him so much. It would probably be best to leave it alone.
Out of here. Out of the way, Swan. Very nice. Almost done. My only friend. Alright, we're good. I got nothing. Even a vibrator.
John's butt started to buzz. Had he left a vibrator up there? Whatever it was, he should get it out.
How do I... Oh!
John's old phone. They really were indestructible. It was Sam calling. He wanted to check in on John. The travel looked fun, but it was so sudden. Was John okay?
No.
Sam was such a softie, always worrying about feelings. John had only one feeling, and it was the feeling of being awesome. He could drop Sam a text, but John was on a mission. The reunion was getting closer, and he had to get a date. Fortunately, John knew exactly where to find love.
We did.
John held his breath. He was about to meet his match. He had to reassure himself he could do this. He had a good job. He had nice stuff. He had traveled. He was ready to find love. On Weena, where all his sexy travel photos would give him the pick of the pack.
Oh, God.
Too skinny. Hot.
No. Okay.
Too
Nope.
short.
Oh, thank God. Too mustachy.
Sexy.
No! God!
Too much foreskin. Not enough foreskin.
Too old.
Glasses.
No, thank you.
Bangs.
No.
Very nice.
Yeah. This is hard. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. No. God damn it. Come on, get your head in there. Get your head in the game! I mean, why not? Slither back around. No! No!
Yep, the pick of the pack.
Well, how old am I? Yeah. I'm 8 inches. No! This is... God. No. I've seen your videos, Leroy. Get the fuck out of here. I don't know if this is... Ugh.
Yes! John had the pick of the pack.
Oh. Is that a pizza? Oh my God.
John valued honesty in a date, but he had been expecting a different kind of dirty. A sexy and much more hygienic kind.
I mean, she's got pizza. Get away from me. Ooh. Whoops. Whoops.
John was scared of getting circumcised so late in life.
Whee.
Oh,
No!
better
Hey,
put that
whoa,
on ice.
whoa, 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 we got a problem.
Okay, John.
Whoa.
Chick sticks cars.
Everyone's
I
dying.
hope.
Everyone's dying.
After the
alive?
reattachment surgery,
What?
the doctors had told John to rest. So he did, for 6 hours.
Where?
Ugh, salty.
Oh. Delicious.
Ugh. The date was off to a great start. Don't offer her popcorn, John.
Get that seed. I guess I didn't find it fun.
John was in stitches.
Oh, here we go. Karen.
Karen had invited John straight over. She was not fooling around. Very exciting.
Clean up
And
your shit.
now she wanted him round the back. Karen let John know that the cake was only for the kids. So was the candy and the piñata. And that she'd be back in 1 hour.
bikini.
John laughed at
Hey.
Melody's hilarious
Ow.
bullfrog story. She was adorable. Everything was going perfectly.
Shit! Full pig in the head! Ah! Get to the tree! She's dead.
John never saw Melody again.
Hey. I already got one of those.
So far, Weena had been a parade of weirdos and rejections. If this date didn't work out, John vowed to give it up. But maybe this time, maybe today would be his day. Sharona sighed and said, "He'll do."
Excuse me. Okay. Here we go. Yep. I know where this is going. Whoa now. Easy, you prick.
John felt a little underdressed and a lot overwhelmed. He was surrounded by strangers, and Sharona was glaring at the muscular groom. At least John hadn't missed out on the cake. John realized that Sharona had only brought him to create some penis envy. What a terrible plan, for so many reasons. John got excited.
Jesus.
They were going
Oh!
to cut the cake.
Please don't use that on me.
"He's mine!" Sharona screamed as she launched herself at the newlyweds.
Suddenly, penises were up and yelling, "No, he's mine!" It was a no-holds-barred
God.
cockfight.
Knife! No! Knife! Ah! Let me out! Excuse me. Can't. Getting sliced again. Slither your way out. No, get out my ass.
As John dodged flying glasses and cake, he felt a stab of envy. The groom had dozens of penises after him, and John had none. It was just wrong.
Well, that was interesting. Oh! Whoa! Okay.
John left the screams and explosions behind him. It was a disastrous end to his online dating. He had tried everything, and it just wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough. Swans were so simple. If you gave them bread, they liked you. But you can't take a swan to a reunion.
I mean, I don't know about that. Sure you could. Oh, the sounds are back. Oh! Felt that one in the boots.
John wanted what that groom had. Love.
Shit.
Real love. The kind that makes penises fight to the death.
Whoa. To the bus. Turn on.
Days later, the question was still bugging John. Why were so many penises in love with the groom, but no one loved John?
It wasn't fair. John deserved attention. He had money and Butstagram pics of his adventures. He even still had quite a lot of stuff. What did that penis have that John didn't?
Nice. Dishes, probably.
Then it hit John. That penis was so strong and hard. That's what everyone wanted. That's what John wasn't. That's what John had to be to find love.
Nope.
It was time to hit the gym.
Yes. This is my life story, I swear.
John arrived at his local gym. A part of him couldn't believe he was here. He just wasn't a gym penis, but John had tried everything else. If he wanted to get the perfect date, he'd need to sign up. Sam? What was he doing here? Of course, Sam was married. John's theory was right. If you get muscles, you get love.
Chicken vending machine. I can't.
Out of nowhere, Sam asked John how he was doing. Really doing. For a moment, John wanted to be honest. But he didn't come to gym to be a softie. John was here to get hard. It was John's first time in a gym since school. He tried not to read too much into that.
What is this?
Sam went on ahead with a chipper promise to meet up with John inside. John had two options. He could try month by month, or if he signed the 10-year Big Muscles Big Savings contract, he'd get a free easy squeezy water bottle. John wasn't a sucker. He knew the importance of hydration. The gym's clean peen pool policy meant that John would have to do something he had never done before. Get naked in front of strangers. Maybe he could set a record for speediest cleanse. Naked, John could feel the blanket of steam intimately against his private parts.
Excuse me?
John pretended he was alone and not surrounded by wrinkly, wet cocks.
Why am I showering before?
What was John nervous about? That he would be laughed at? There was nothing funny about a naked penis.
Excuse me. Queers.
Very fetching, John.
Always
It even matches your tan
Get the
lines.
soap out your ass. Okay.
Time to conquer the pool.
It's gonna be a soapy pool. Or not. Hey.
Sam enthusiastically greeted John and offered to show him around, obviously not realizing that John was a natural athlete. The diving board. At school, all the peanuts had to jump off it, but John had been too scared. Well done, John. The judges give you 3 for form, but 9 for enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't hard. John couldn't believe Peens actually got gold medals just for splashing around. Maybe he could become an Olympian. He was slowing down a bit, flailing a bit, but John pushed on, knowing that looking good in a Speedo was the only thing that could save him from an empty existence. John wanted to take a break, forever. The pool was not his friend. It was not the blissful wet dream of his fantasies. It was a hellish prison of murderous fluid determined to drown him. No wonder life crawled out of the sea, desperate to escape the water. Done. John had
where
not
have you been?
drowned, but more importantly, he had not quit. Time to hit the weight room.
I'm really going hard.
Fresh from conquering the pool, John felt ready for anything the gym could throw at him, even heavy metal weights. Clearly, John knew how to handle equipment. Sam cheered John on, as if he needed it. Adrenaline coursed through John's veins, his butthole clenched like a fist.
Watch that later.
John was forging himself into the peen he saw on movie screens, bulging and sweat-slicked, hard and shiny. Boom! John was cocked and loaded. Didn't Sam ever get out of breath? The stream of encouragement was exhausting.
Oh, fuck!
John, getting flung from fast-moving objects since preschool. Slow and steady. That's right, John. Like a lover. Or pouring gravy.
Halfway dead. Okay. Out of the way. Excuse me. Coming through.
That had gotten John's heart rate up
Oh, God.
and his life expectancy down. John was sweating like a senator on a sex tape, but he wasn't done. John took a deep breath, clenched, and pulled. Sam made this look so easy. John squashed the thought. He'd just have to push harder. John tried to make eye contact with Sam, get in his head a bit.
Beating that ass, Sam.
Sam didn't seem to notice John, but John could tell Sam was impressed. Even though he still hadn't looked at John, not that it mattered to John, because John was in the zone, deep in the zone. With the sound of a deflating truck tire, John's sphincter gave out. Sam congratulated John for trying.
What?
And told him it was okay to take things slow, as if John was going to quit. Well, he wasn't. John had a mission, and the reunion was getting closer.
Bloody tissues. It's still 6 weeks. It's been a week. Oh, yeah. Yes. Ouch. How do I still have a job? Oh, that's fast. Get. Come on. Get. Come on. Oh. Oh, wait. Ow. Broke my spine. Big spine. Fucking back. Is this mayonnaise? Oh. Oh, come on. Holy shit, I'm fast. God damn. Holy shit. Wow. God damn. Jesus. Mayonnaise and chicken. Got this. I still have a bed? A mattress? Oh, here we go again. Hello? I mean, I did. Oh! What do I do? Okay, I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. Huh. Go for it! Fuck. Ooh, those would be shady. Huh. Oh! Go this way. No. Suck it, bitch. Go this way. Hello? Wait. Are you impressed? Oh shit. Yeah, whatever. Oh, here we go. Better get some high ground. It's fucking serving.
As soon as John woke up, the mirror called to him.
His abs looked like a pack of vacuum-sealed hot dogs. Tasty. Jim had remade John into a sculpted Adongus.
Adongs.
He was finally everything a peen should be. Successful, travelled, and photogenic. It was time for his morning pre-gym workout.
Holy shit! Am I shooting up in here? Ooh! Ooh! Okay then, let's go.
The reunion invitation caught John's eye.
Where's it at? Let's just look at it. Out of the way.
He read it again. And again. Stunned. He'd gotten the date wrong. Very wrong. The reunion was tonight.
What?
Tonight!
What a fuck up.
He'd have to go
I gotta
alone.
hit the treadmill again.
They'd all be there.
Fuck!
And they'd look at John and they'd know he was still a loser. No, there was still time. John needed a date fast. He'd have to go out. He'd have to make an impact. John had to dress his best,
Oh, it's over.
only better.
Only better.
Is this sending the right message? Oh my, John.
Ooh.
Welcome to the gun show. This isn't the time for comfort, John. That's a choice, I suppose.
Come on. Ooh. Turn your dick around. No, not wearing a hat. Flip over. Oh, my stash. Fuck it, it's a bow tie. I'm taking it.
There had to be someone single and desperately alone in the city. Someone besides John. He just had to find them. John went straight to the nearest bar. Sure, it was still early, but he couldn't waste any time. There must be some day drinkers he could pick up. It was a classy place. Even the vomit was high quality. The bouncer looked like a hagfish that had taken up lacrosse.
Fuck you, want it anyway.
Much better.
What the fuck? Ooh, snazzy. What does that mean?
John stepped into the bar and saw her. The answer to the question, what was John's purpose? Her. Loving her. Being with her. Taking her to the reunion.
Hello.
Their eyes met and John knew
Eyes?
she felt the same.
Look at that six
Gladys did not feel the same. But John wasn't going to give up on their life together. A couple of drinks would loosen her up to their destiny. Wow. Gladys was not an amateur when it came to drinking. John had to keep up.
More, please.
It was working. Gladys was definitely warming up to John.
Another. Oops. Hold up. Try that again. Sir.
John's bladder was very full. It sloshed audibly as he moved.
this way. Ugh. This... Whoa, that's not what I thought it was. Drop the soap. Don't.
Holy balls. John had never felt such relief.
Fuck. I got it. There we go. There we go. Damn, these balls are heavy. Fuck it. Fuck COVID.
John looked around. Gladys was gone. John cursed his petite bladder. The bored bartender shrugged and told John Gladys had left because some creep was trying to get her drunk. The bar was empty. The creep must have left too.
Whoa. I'm fucking slight. Where'd I get this?
John's anxiety had sunk under the surface of the beer he'd drunk, while his confidence was floating high. This was the place he'd find love.
Everyone hits me.
It was empty, except for the bartender. Clearly this bar's only special was unhappy hour. 2 for 1 was a good deal, though, and so far the beer had lifted John's spirits. Another 4 would make him feel twice as good.
Here we go. One at a time. One at a time.
The bartender gave John a smile that set his heart hammering. He had to impress her.
You're welcome.
What was so offensive about offering a big tip in exchange for a date? John had thought bartenders loved tips. He needed to find a better club, one with a vibe.
Not gonna make it.
John was drawn by the pulse of the music. It pulled him forward like a moth to a fiery death. John was running out of time to find a date and prove that he wasn't a loser. Dancing, the real way to flirt. The way of animals, of wild sexual creatures. John strutted and shook his booty. With booze buzzing round his head, John found himself on the dance floor. Everyone was up close and sweaty. John was exhilarated. He felt alive.
This is hard.
John was working himself up to try a little bump and grind. It was a moment out of a movie. John alone on the dance floor with a gorgeous penis, their sexual chemistry exploding. She moved away, coyly. John could tell when someone was playing hard to get.
Fucking trying.
He let her marinate in the tension before making his move.
Getting somewhere.
John wasn't taking no for an answer.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She consented, I swear.
Some people have no sense of fun, but John was certain the next bar would be different.
Oh. Oh, shit.
The next bar wasn't different. John couldn't understand why everyone was so sensitive. It was like no one wanted to have a good time. Like no one had a sense of humor. John had meant that as a compliment.
Jesus,
Why
how
did
many
the
of them
world
are
get
there?
so uptight? John's ego was as bruised as his shaft. He had to admit it. He'd failed. He was where he belonged, in a creepy murder alley covered in trash. Oh, that's gross.
Oh, this is the grossest.
Oh,
Jesus.
it's so
What is
moist,
trash day?
but textured. It smells like rotting dick yogurt.
Shit.
John's misery was sour in his mouth. He needed a drink to wash it down. There was still one bar he hadn't been kicked out of yet.
Oh, shit.
John had cleaned himself up as much as possible. He really needed a mint.
Fucking. Where am I? Hold up. Oh. Get this fucking trash can. Get out of here. Get your... Come on. This is frustrating. Okay, back it up.
John got
Nailed
it
it.
in, but he needed more to satisfy the machine.
Nailed it. Come on, it's in. It's in. It's in.
Nailed it.
Oh, I overpaid. All the mints.
John let out his anger, his frustration. Life was a shitty joke. It wasn't fair. You want to mess with John? Do you?
What the fuck is return? What is that? What does that mean? Oh! That's not return. Okay, hold up. Think like a wiener for a second.
This is what you get.
Back it up.
Fuck you, you fucking thing.
Man, that was a hard F.
You had one job. Die, 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 die!
Seem to be a predicament. Shit.
It's not fair. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
Back it up.
Ah!
Narrators. Going hard.
That's how you get what you want.
Mints.
Menthol.
Can I go now? Hey.
John wanted the strongest drink they had. Rough night? Someone asked John. He hadn't noticed her when he came in, but now he did.
She's huge.
It really had been a rough night for John, but he felt a little better that someone cared enough to ask. But destiny had given John a second chance.
I claim the...
John made his move. Unfortunately, according to Alice and to her boyfriend Chadrick, it was the wrong move.
Well, shit. Uh-oh.
Chadrick threw John into the alley and followed, making unoriginal but still terrifying threats. Get him, John! Oh my god! Ouch!
My nuts.
I can't watch. Don't hold back! Give it to him!
Brutal.
I should be fucking.
John had survived.
You
No.
would see.
He'd won. He'd won. He'd won. He wasn't a loser. And there was the proof lying in a bruised, bloody heap.
He's dead.
John didn't need a date to the reunion. He needed to go over there and beat the pre-cum out of those dicks. High school reunion, the perfect time to teach someone a lesson.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay.
The doors of the school. A sight John had dreaded every day for years, and now he was going willingly through them, unafraid, fueled by years of unprocessed anger fermented in loneliness. John was back. The chickens were coming home to roost, and they were all cocks.
Hello? Well, you kind of do. Holy shit. All over the floor. Whoops.
These were the peanuts he'd grown up with, now with jobs and marriages and beer bellies. John was surprised at how ordinary they had all turned out. He spotted them, John's tormentors. Time for them to feel the wrath. That's the stuff, John. Pow! Whoa! Don't let
Todd
up.
Howard? My ass beat. Can't. Okay, it's a bad idea.
How do you like that? Ha! Who's a loser now? Who? John poured his anger into every punch.
You're dead. Wait till I turn around.
Ha! John had won. He'd won. No one could say John was a loser now.
Okay. They're dead. Oh, wait, go back. Hey!
John's primal joy faded as he saw how the other penises looked at him. Not like a winner, like he was trash.
Oh, shit.
John tumbled down the steps, hitting every bruise on his length and his ego.
Well.
It was her, Harmony. She had been at the reunion. She'd seen it all and followed John out. To laugh at him more? No, to see if he was all right. Why did that hurt John so much? This was John's chance to ask her why all those years ago she'd said to him, "No one will ever love you." Harmony stared at John in shock.
I need it.
How could John not know why? Didn't John remember what he'd done?
No. There. There. Oh, I'm feeling it now. Okay then. Whoa, what the? My turn. That was a disturbing sound. Holy shit! It's getting kind of weird. Hello, ma'am. Whoops. Sorry. Out of the way. Out of the way. My bed! Ow. This is real. Okay. Oh, definitely drugs.
There was nothing Sam enjoyed more than the fresh air of an early morning. The dew sparkling on the grass, the music of the trees,
Am I supposed to be able to control
space
this?
to think.
Oh, there we go.
What was that smell? It made Sam's eye water.
Yeah, it did. I'm getting...
It was John, passed out and crusted with vomit and regret.
Oh, I gotta do both?
John was awake and tolerably clean. Sam tried to be gentle and invited John to join him on his walk.
Ugh. Which one's which? I'm gonna get so confused.
Sam coaxed John along. It was like herding compost.
So slow. Whoa! Oh, hold on. I'm doing this wrong. This is so confusing.
John couldn't answer Sam's questions yet. How had he ended up such a wreck?
Yeah. No. Thought he was dead for a second. Okay. Hot dog.
John immediately felt better, but his head was still pounding, and not in a good way.
Let's go. Get out of my balls.
The throbbing ache dulled. John was feeling much more himself, and he realized that was not what he wanted to feel.
No. No. Whoops. Whoops.
Even that bit of senseless destruction couldn't cheer John up.
Let's go.
Sam Sam saw his friend's misery. He suggested they keep going. John wanted to know something. Why didn't anyone love him? As soon as he said it, he felt like a softie, whining about his feelings. But Sam didn't make fun of him. Sam asked him to go on. And so John told him the whole story, about how hard he'd made himself and how unfair it felt, and everything he'd done. Saying it out loud, John realized he'd sounded like an asshole. But he'd done everything right. Why didn't he get what he wanted? Why didn't John get love? Wanting someone isn't the same as loving them, said Sam. You'll figure it out, John, but you have to keep trying. How about a bike ride? Sam asked.
How the hell is this gonna work? Oh my god.
John struggled to get his balance, but Sam told him not to give up. John kept trying, getting better as they went.
Back on the road. Snakes? Don't even look. Shit. I got... Fuck me. He's racist. Oh. Oops. Oh, I'm getting it now. Oh, I'm a pro now. Whee! Whoops.
John and Sam stopped and looked at the sunset. For a moment, John let himself be quiet and listen to the world and look at how beautiful it could be.
It's okay, I guess. Why are there penguins here?
Life can be hard, said Sam, but that doesn't mean we have to be.
It's a whole lot of, That's it? My life sucks. Excuse me. Ow. Doing it. Stuck. Ow. I did nothing. I can't do this. We like. Oh, yeah. Here I am. This isn't the end. Holy shit! Oh! Someone didn't lube up. I'm back.